Are there rules in jiu-jitsu? Are there principles, axioms that we can extract from the techniques and the positions we play, which allow us to universalize our game so that we're not so dependent on having the specific solution for the specific problem, and we can instead operate on a conceptual level? Well, I think there are. Let's talk about it. I'm here with my good friend Chris Mikuta, who's a Roy Dean black belt, judo black belt, Jeet Kune Do, MMA for the streets, incredibly skilled martial artist. It's an honor for me to have him here today. And by the way, Chris teaches some stand-up on my course, Old Guy Cheat Code, which is available at my website, rickellis.com. And I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And it's so good to have you today. And we're also at Clark Gracie's Academy. If you're in San Diego and you want to train with me or with the team or with Clark, this is the place to be. And it's an amazing experience down here. All right, so principles.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw 3 ideas at you, simple concepts, more beginner oriented. And then Chris is gonna throw 3 concepts at you. There's a ton of things we could talk about, but we're gonna try to keep it a little bit controlled here today. So should I go first?
Absolutely.
All right, so concept number 1, deny the underhook. Don't let people underhook you. And so let's look at a few examples of what I mean by that. Let's say Chris is doing a knee cut pass on me, maybe this way.
Yes.
So he's passing. What does he want? He wants his underhook. He's got everything he needs now to get into position. Okay, so that becomes the battle, understanding where the fight is. You can't fight everything simultaneously. You have to figure out what you're gonna fight. So he's coming in, and I know that he wants that underhook. I want my underhook. If he pummels, I need to re-pummel, and that becomes the entire game here until I can establish my position and deny what he wants. So that's one example. Another example would be side control, right? He's got his far side underhook. This is great for him. It's terrible for me. I need to be able to get a frame. A frame is good, but if I can tuck that elbow in a little bit so that he can't get a bite on it, that's even better. If my elbow's out, he's got a bite, he can start doing stuff. So you tuck it, maybe get to my side. Now I can start working for my own underhook. Now we can start working an escape. So that's another place. The back. He wants an underhook, right? This is great for him. Again, it's terrible for me. So someone's taking my back. I need to be able to hide these things. That becomes the game. And now I can slide down. We can clear a leg. We can come out. And it's all because we didn't give him the ability to control the torso, and especially that underhook. And there are a bunch of other examples we could give, but that's foundational. Right?
Absolutely.
101, you don't give up the underhook. Okay, principle number 2 is don't let people cross-face you. And these things are easier said than done, especially when you're new at jiu-jitsu. The goal is to be ahead. At any moment when people are sparring, someone's ahead and someone's behind. And the goal is to stay a little bit ahead so you can deny those things. But as a principle, this is, I don't know what's a good side, maybe this side. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna come in, maybe he's got some fancy pass, whatever he wants to do. He wants to come in, and here comes the crossface. He gets his crossface, and now he's in. So how do we deny the crossface? Well, one way is I can turn into him and just use my frames. So he wants to come this way, boom, I'm coming in, and I'm framed up, and now I've kind of taken away one of the posts that he wants to use. So one is you can turn in. That's one way to deny the crossface. Another way is as you're coming in, mm-hmm. right? I'm a fan of getting control of that arm. Okay, it's not just about blocking. Okay, this is good, but if I can get control of that arm, this is even better, because now it gives me access to the entire left side of his body. And if I want, we can turn it into a sweep or into an offensive setup from that denial of the crossface. Or another option, and this is classic Roy Dean, he likes using the cross arm. So he's coming in, boom. Roy likes to do this, and as he swims out, Right? Now I need to either pass it off, I can maybe sweep him, but as he comes in, usually that's what's going to let me then get to the other side and pummel for my underhook and get out. So a couple ideas, but the principle is you just don't let people grab your neck and grab, right?
Absolutely, man. You don't let them get their arm underneath your neck and control your head.
And number 3 is, in some ways, this is kind of a meta principle. It's a principle upon which other principles can be built, and that is that the space between your knees and your armpits is sacred space. If I allow people into this space, it gives them a lot of control over my torso, control over my body, and then everything's much more difficult. So a lot of times, even if I might not have a specific technique or a specific answer to a specific thing that they're doing, an alarm goes off anytime someone crosses my knee line. They cross that knee line. In my mind, I'm thinking, deny that space. And maybe it means, whatever. Maybe it means I have to create space. He's coming in, however, it doesn't matter. He's coming in. He's about to get into that space. I know that I need to either, punch away and come up and deny. I know that I need to either tuck in, right, and deny. The fact that I have my arm between us means that he's not under my armpit. He's not inhabiting that space. Right, that's another way. It's just being aware of this area. And he comes in, I've got my frames. I'm not really gonna let him take up that space. I'm always keeping a frame, I'm keeping something. Maybe I can follow, use that frame to help me follow around and get to a better position. So, I don't have a lot of examples of that, but it should just be, like I said, there should be a little bit of an alarm that goes off in your head whenever someone crosses your knee line and they're on their way to getting torso control, and you should say, wait a second, no, this is my space. And even if I don't have a specific answer to what you're doing, just the fact that I'm conscious of the fact that you're in this space and I need to keep you out of the space is going to at least give me the correct view of the problem at hand. Even if I may not have the perfect solution for that.
Another way to kind of remember it easily is elbow-knee connection.
There you go.
Right? Keep that.
Yeah, show.
Keep that elbow below this leg. In the case of the guard passing, you completely shut down the space that they need to occupy simply by doing this. And
there you go.
I believe one very good example of that is Keenan Cornelius. That guy can shut down that side of the body just doing that over and over again. So,
yeah. Absolutely. That's another principle. Connect those structures to keep this space pure.
Absolutely.
Right. So those are some ideas. Those are 3 ideas. And then we're going to turn it over to Chris here. I think he's got some higher level ideas.
Listen to this guy.
Because I'm just a dummy here.
Okay, so mine are rather simple too, and one that my judo coach really instilled in me, but to be honest with you, it was reminded to me by one of Roy Dean's black belts, Byron Higginbotham. He told me, we were rolling once, and he told me, why are you allowing me my grips? And at the moment, I didn't realize I was doing it, so I had to course correct and start applying that. In a simple context, we're just going to stand up real quick. In a simple context, if we're grappling and Rick gets his grip on me, I should not allow him to have this. That he wants this for a reason. So pulling this off and occupying his arm and then attacking for my own grips, that's one way to look at this. Another way to look at this is if Rick is in my guard of whatever kind and he is gripping me in some configuration, I have to start doing something about this. Otherwise, he's ahead of me. So stripping grips like that, right, or popping grips off like that allows me to control his pace and set up my own attacks, right? So that's, in a basic context, that's one of the most important things that I do when I roll with everybody, is just try to deny what they're trying to do to me and then break a grip to get a grip, right?
And so you're into intercepting. You don't let people even establish that.
I try not to. I try not to. it's an ongoing game, and there's two bodies here at play. So yeah, he's going to do what he has to do, and I'm going to have to do what I have.
You know, and the flip side of that is a principle. You get your grips early, you established your points of connection. And so defensively, you're denying those points of connection.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, the second concept. This is tough especially with newer students. But by the time you get into blue, purple, they start, especially purple, you start to see it more and more. Use everything. we get so attached to the fact that our arms are, what we use to do pretty much all of the normal things we do in life. Our legs are meant for walking and possibly jumping once in a while if you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, you got to use everything. So a simple example is if we are grappling here and Rick's getting his grips and I'm getting my grips, I need to use my feet. I can't allow him to intercept my space. And doing this alone, especially so just say, for instance, butterfly guard, Rick's going to jump right on top of that, pass it along the side. There's going to be things he's going to do. If I don't activate my feet right away, and again, this can also be in butterfly guard and stuff of that nature, but yeah, you gotta use everything, including your head at times, especially when they're beating your arms and legs, and the only thing you have left are your head, So, and again, you have to play with this. You have to experiment with this. It's a fairly easy concept to understand. But without actually applying it over and over and failing and trying to apply it again, yeah, you're going to have a hard time in the beginning. But it will come. It will come. And then
I think of that using your legs more as sort of the blue to purple journey.
Yes.
More so. You can get to blue belt and not be particularly adept with your legs, but to get to purple, you got to learn to use your legs. And so the earlier you can do that in your journey, and as a principle, you just think, am I connected? Do I have 4 points of connection? Ideally, I would have 4 points, my 2 legs, my 2 hands, 4 points of connection. Or it could be my head and 2 limbs, or it can be a shoulder and a couple limbs. Like there's connection.
Elbows,
knees.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
So that's really good. And I think people will naturally develop that over time, but you can probably accelerate that by willfully thinking about that.
And applying it to your game. And then lastly, and this is something that I really picked up from BJJ black belt Rob Bernanke out of, I believe, Nanaimo, Canada. He talks about the alignment. And basically, I'm not going to get into big details about this, but alignment is essentially 3 things: base, posture, structure. And without good alignment, your jiu-jitsu suffers. And it's something that you have to work on, and I'm continuing to work on over and over and over again throughout my journey. But what I want to talk about is just your alignment versus his position. And it's a simple idea. If I'm on the bottom of anything, let's just say he's in top side control and I'm on the bottom, and I let him do this, okay, so my alignment it does, when you look at alignment for what it is, my base is okay. I mean, this mat is my base. My posture's okay, and my structure is not okay. Rick's base is okay. His posture, his spine is straight. He's okay here. And his structure, his limbs are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So he is 3 to my 2. So the minute I'm able to start implementing my alignment against him, right? Then we start to even the score out again. Now, if I start to use my base appropriately in the position I'm in, and I start to do things like this, now if you see, Rick's alignment starts to be affected, right? He's moved off to the side. That means his spine is slightly bent. His neck might be slightly bent from the forearm that I'm putting under his jaw. His arms are not doing what they're supposed to be doing the most efficiently at this point. We both have base, but now his alignment's off. So just because you're in the bottom of a position, this is one example. Let me go half guard. If I'm in half guard, I like to play high knee shield. Some people call it high knee shield. Rob calls it half guard shell. Okay? If I'm in this position here, right, he's in a dominant position to me. If I'm playing half guard and he's smashing me, yeah, this is a dominant position. But if I start to establish what my limbs are supposed to do, which are frame him out, right? Frame him and prevent him from doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? This is so much better alignment in my case. My spine's straight, my base is good, my structure is good. Rick's posture is good, his base is good, but his structure is not good. So again, I'm up 3 to his 2. So yeah, it's something that you have to practice and implement over time and get a good understanding that just because you're on the bottom of a position does not mean that it's over. You just have to course correct your alignment, get that thing back to where it should be, and try to affect their alignment along the way. And yeah, that pays dividends.
That's good. That's a higher level concept in a way. I think you have to have some understanding of the positions and the structures. Like as a white belt, you might not even know what a proper alignment is, but if you begin thinking about that, right? Okay, I'm inside control. Where's my base? Where's my posture? Where's my alignment? Let's figure this out and start asking yourself who has that dominant position there in terms of the 3 against 2.
Or dominant alignment.
Dominant alignment.
Because again, Rick was dominant the entire time. In jiu-jitsu, his top position is considered dominant.
Right.
Dominant.
Right.
But because I'm in good alignment on the bottom,
It doesn't mean anything.
it doesn't mean anything. Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I think that went well.
I think so too. We will have to have you back, Chris. Chris is amazing. He's out of Illinois and really great guy. I wish I could transport myself there for
Transport myself
about
there.
2-3 years and work on my stand-up with this guy. He's a beast on his feet, and it's so good to have him here today.
Appreciate that, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed that content, be sure to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time.